Moshi Moshi, I'm what happens when you put a Tamagotchi in the microwave, and welcome to vlog number 2. Today's a fun one. We're talking pickling. I'm doing pastel goth. I have my little skelly hand in my hair. Very exciting. We're doing day in the life of a mortician apprentice. We're doing colostomy Q&A. We're doing all kinds of stuff. Doing all that. Hello, welcome, hi, Moshi Moshi, how are you? Konnichiwa. I can't do the Aaron Hansen voice, but imagine that I did. I'm Spaz, I run Spazzatic Studio, I am Spazzatic Studio, this is my second channel. This is all of the silliness and none of the brain cells where I keep you abreast of my, stupid ass adventures. What are we talking about today? So I asked over on Instagram what people wanted to hear, and we decided that we would talk a little bit more about Spaz's adventures and dating. I am going to answer the colostomy questions, and we're going to talk a bit about marketing and doing well on social media. Let's get into it. Girlies, girly pops, girly flops even. Yo. Dating. Okay, so in the last vlog, we talked about my magnificent breakup, which it continues to be balls to the walls. And so I've been back in the dating pool pretty much immediately, because, I think that once you're done mentally with a relationship and it's been a while, you're like, let me get back into it before the equipment gets up and walks away. So, okay, so my type is very much like nerds. Bottoms, some may say, which is a problem for me because I'm a bottom. It feels a little bit like the scene in Jurassic Park where they're like trying to put the belt buckles together and it's like a metaphor that all the dinosaurs are women. It's a disaster is my point. And so I was like, okay, no. So my strategy now for dating is to do the polar opposite. And let me tell you, there has never been a better time to be Canadian because the dating pool is psychotic. There's a lot of lonely firemen in Canada. I don't know what this single fireman epidemic, I don't know what the root is, but there's a lot of hot firemen. Hot firemen, farmers. I'm quite literally doing farmers, but farmers, I swear to God, there's nothing, and I kick myself because how did I not realize this before? But there's nothing more attractive than a dude who's like, do you want a scrambled egg? What if I give you the whole chicken? The Prometheus of the egg. Here's a wheel of brie. It's like, oh my God. A finance bro will not give you a wheel of brie. A Dungeons and Dragons DM will not give you a wheel of brie. Dating a lot of farmers. A lot of farmers, a lot of firemen, a lot of outdoorsy men. Because I'm such a homebody, I'm trying to get into men. I'm not gonna make the joke. It's too much low-hanging fruit. I'm trying to get into men that snowboard, hike, camp. They're on jet skis, they're doing interesting things in the wilderness. They're one with nature. That's who I'm trying to date. And it's fun because it kind of forces me to go out and be one with nature. And it is nice, genuinely. Also the muscles. I like the muscles. I'm still a fat guy enthusiast. I don't know what the term is. I don't know how to say it without sounding like a freak. I like a chubby man. Sue me. I don't know what to tell you. But I think that in terms of most of my life, I was like, I don't like muscular men. I would never date a muscular man. And now I'm like, no, I was wrong. I like it. I like the firemen. If you're a fireman and you're lonely, bro, hit me up. The dating apps are insane. I think it's the Venn diagram of where desperation and convenience meet. But it is good and fun, and the dudes that I'm not super into, I've made some interesting friends, so it all worked out. So that's been dating. I don't know what else to say. There's not a moment in this house where I can film in peace. Anyways, I seem to have accidentally gone too far in the opposite. Dating. Call it the hoe phase, call it the rebound phase. Hot firemen and farmers. Can I get an amen? But seriously though, so thanks to user submitted questions on Instagram, which again, follow me on Instagram if you want to tell me what to do with my videos. I promised that I would get this out before Auri 8, and Auri 8 is now, the video on that is now completely filmed. We're starting with House Dimitrescu, and we're working our way around. Filming has been really interesting. So at first I was like, oh, I love filming, I love scripting, I hate editing. But now that the mouthwashing video is out, I'm like, oh, I love editing, I hate everything else. It's hard to read the script for me because English is not my first language, and like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm sure there's a more scientific, linguistic-y way to phrase it, but the sounds that my mouth is used to making, because English is a second language, are not, like, the sounds for English are not quite in the same place. And so I do a lot of kind of like stuttering and suffering. I have this voice because my parents sent me to speech therapy, where I kind of like progressively lost my accent, because I used to have a heavy, like, oh, bibbidi bop boobie accent. And I still do. I think if you're looking, it's not heavy, but if you're looking for it, you'll notice it. And because I speak Calabrese Italian, if you know what you're listening for, you can tell. I cannot for the life of me say Mytholicization. Like, it's so difficult because my tongue is not, it's like not hitting the correct like places, because I'm not used to, like, Italian doesn't really use the middle of the mouth, Jesus, ow sound, but English uses, at least for me, maybe I'm doing it wrong, the middle of my mouth. And so I'm used to talking like in the front here. And so I suffer greatly. Editing is really fun. I'm having a good time, and I'm very excited to continue making the video essays. I did promise that this vlog would come out soon, and I did really diligently for 2 weeks film the things that I did, minus Magic the Gathering, because I don't think I can film in the cafe where that takes place. And also, I don't want to subject anybody to being on camera who has not, like, enthusiastically consented. Say that we would talk a little bit about marketing. And to really like lock in here, let me put my hair back so we can lock in together. Okay, hold on. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. Marketing. So, how do we make a living on Instagram and all the rest of that bullshit? Pretty vocal about the fact that my success found me completely by accident. People will often ask me, like, what did you do? Like, what are the steps? What is the secret? What's something that I could do in order to like go viral like you? And the answer is I don't know. I technically broke the cardinal rule of Instagram, having had an account that was completely unused for years, and then just posting like a post, not a reel, not just a post, and kind of calling it a day. And it blew up. And so the 10K in a matter of months was not some kind of like genius scheming by yours truly. It was fully, completely an accident. And I don't know how to replicate it, even if I really wanted to. The tips that I think I've learned are, number one, be mindful of not just the content that you put up, but the content that you take down. People will wield a lot of the content that you remove against you, and it is important to listen to your audience. For example, I made a reel making fun of lollies, because duh, and a lot of people interpreted it as in defense. I don't know if it was that they thought it was in defense of lollies or if I was calling myself a lolly. I am not. I don't know. But I took it down because, like, the joke was not, obviously, it was not received well, and it was clearly in poorer taste than I thought, and I was like, ew, okay, we'll take it down. It was, you know, the sound where it's like, I'm so hungry I could eat at Arby's. Whoa, he must be really hungry, except it's like a broke artist. And they're like, I'm so broke I could draw a lolly. And then the joke is like, oh my god, you must be like really broke, like desperate measures. It was not well received. Took it down. I was bullied into taking a lot of my other content down. I regret especially taking down my paper sketchbook posts and stories and highlights. Unfortunately, because of the nature of like being dynamically disabled, it's harder for me to produce like physical art. It takes a lot longer. It's very painful. My joints do not do well with it. Like my hand will swell to the point that it'll just like lock itself in place. Um, so I rely on very heavily modded brushes in Procreate because it, for me anyway, it's an accessibility feature. Um, and so people would like make fun of like the shakiness of the lines or like the sketchiness or the fact that the sketches weren't as clean, and I took it really personally and I took everything down, and I really regret that. It's important to ask your audience what they want to see while maintaining the balance of having fun and showing what you want to show. And so don't let anybody intimidate you into taking things down unless, again, like the lolly thing, it is genuinely offensive and in poor taste and you're like, "Oh my god, I have to do some soul searching." Like definitely evolve and change and grow morally, but don't let anybody shanghai your content. Is so I lost the first kind of instance of me pissing followers was when I decided to unfollow a bunch of mutuals. For some reason, I got it in my head that if people saw the amount of followers versus follows that I had on my page, that they, I don't know, like they would like think some kind of way about it. No one's looking and no one cares. Like rebuilding my relationship with my mutuals has been the best thing for my engagement. It's been the best thing for migrating to other platforms and having people follow me onto those platforms. And it's also just nice. I've made a lot of like genuine friends who I talk to and hang out with every single day. Mutuals are important. Nobody is looking to see if you are the popular kid on Instagram. Nobody's checking. So don't worry about it. Like, I've always been a very firm believer that even if you're doing your art and nobody's watching and nobody's paying attention, it shouldn't matter because you should be doing it for you. Stay weird. Oh, like, isn't that the whole point? Is like just march to the beat of your own drum. People that like your content will be drawn to your content. People who resonate with your message will resonate with your message. If you obsess over like, well, it's meaningless if I don't have 500 followers, 1K, 5K, 10K, 15K, 20K. You'll never be happy because you're moving the goalpost for yourself before you even have the chance to like discover what you want to do, what your like brand voice is, things that you can do that are platform specific that will help you to achieve at the very least engagement. For example, Instagram is heinous. They change their modus operandi every 5.5 seconds. So now it's like, yeah, only use maximum 5 hashtags. You can post either once a day or 3 times a day, no more, no less. And so you have to keep track of what it is you're doing. Something that I tell people all the time that I had to learn the hard way through burnout is start with one platform and then slowly grow your repertoire. Use tools like Later, use retroactive posting sites, queue up your content, keep track of your ideas. I literally have a spreadsheet. Every time I save a reel, I put it in a specific folder so that I know what content to make. I'll make sometimes 8 days of content ahead of time and then schedule it all. Like, get used to that because if a platform wants you to post every day and you want to cross post to 5 platforms, it's going to be a couple hours of queuing things up. And the reason that I say start with one platform and then expand is that you need to understand what is trending and popular on your platform. Because TikTok and Instagram, different demographics. And so look at your analytics. You need to look at your analytics because you need to understand whom you are making content for. And then you need to doom scroll for a couple hours to understand what's doing well on the app. Sometimes you'll have a reel that does gangbusters on Instagram, and then when you go to migrate it to TikTok, because that sound or that topic or that concept is not trending there, it's gonna flop. And so your intentions for Instagram are gonna be different from your intentions for TikTok. They're gonna be different from your intentions for YouTube Reels or shorts, which really is like the wild west of just post anything and pray. Like, you have to do some doom scrolling because you have to understand the animal that you're working with. And so if you're a new to social media person and you're like, yeah, I'll start off on 15 platforms at once, There is no need. Assess your analytics, assess your market, and then do things that pander to them. An example, on TikTok, my audience is much younger, like preteen and teen. On Instagram, my audience is much older, like 25 and up. And so I'm gonna choose, let's say, when I'm looking at cross posting from Instagram to TikTok, I won't cross post absolutely everything because some things won't really perform well. Analytics are really helpful. The reason that I left Twitter, well, I mean, there was a lot of reasons to leave Twitter, but one of the kind of final straws for me was that they removed analytics and then you had to pay for the Twitter verified whatever the hell it is, to get the analytics, and the analytics are half-baked. And so after giving the Musk like 30 of my dollars or some ridiculous amount, I had to then go to a third-party website and get my analytics from them because Twitter just does not keep track. And so it's like, I don't even know who my audience is, like genuinely. It's so vague. And so again, you got to corner the market based on your analytics. Look at your demographic and understand how the platform that you're on works. Make what makes you happy. If you feel too much and tone like you are a brand that is trying to sell something, you will come across as a salesman. You will not come across as an artist. And I think that's a very important line to learn how to toe. On the one hand, yeah, you're probably selling merch and you're probably selling your services, but ask yourself if you want to come across as a salesperson or if you want to come across as like, this is something I made and I really like it and it reflects like me and my interests that I want to share with you, because that is much more valuable to the person who is looking at your art than, can I interest you in spending your hard-earned money in spiel on marketing. You guys also asked me to talk about Sonic. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm horny for Keanu Reeves. Is that something? Like, I don't know what you want me to say. Okay, this is my Sichuanese pickle jar. I got the recipe from Day with May. I'll link it in the description. At the moment, I'm pickling ginger, broccoli stems, celery, carrots, and like little broccolini basically because I couldn't find mustard grains. This batch has been going for about, I think this is the 4th day. So it's just salt, sugar, vodka, water, Sichuan peppercorn. I don't have a utensil, so I'm using a bread knife. Count your fucking days, Uncle Roger. Alright, well, that's all the salt we got in the house, so.
Okay. Melon be smellin'. Ooh!
It did not register to me that I have to cool the 7 cups of boiling water, so we'll be... I'm scared. Salty. So salty. I've never pickled anything. I've never really pickled anything, so I'm like low-key scared I'm doing it wrong. Oh! Yeah, okay. It's tasting Sichuan peppercorny. I think we finally did it. Finally. Her continue to ferment. Stay tuned for Pickle Watch. Bro, please. It is 6:50. We have to be at the funeral home for my day job at 9:30. So we're gonna get up and look presentable. Okay, so I figured I would do the Q&A in this section about the colostomy, but also about mortuary school. So mortuary school generally, at least where I live, refers to thanatology, which is a 4-year degree. What I'm doing is a 20-month apprenticeship. So because I already have college degrees, I don't have to go back to school. Basically, I have a master and I'm her apprentice, and I follow her around while she runs the mortuary. After the 20 months, you're allowed to do certain aspects of thanatology, but you can't embalm alone. The way that a mortuary is run, honestly, it's a lot like an airport. So no nails, no nail polish, no makeup, no jewelry. My boss is pretty cool, so she lets me keep in just my basic earrings, and I can wear my Apple Watch and my medical alert bracelet, obviously. But everything else I hide. So hide your tattoos, hide any piercings, hide colored hair, things like that. I don't wear scrubs or anything specific. I've seen the morticians who just do embalming show up to work in scrubs, but I do a lot more clerical work. So because I'm facing the public, I do just kind of dress like it's any other job. And there's no special requirements. We have tailored suits. Mine should be ready in about 3 months. And so for now, I just do all black. So here the user submitted questions about my colostomy. The first one is, what has been the biggest warning curve when it comes to getting used to your colostomy? And I have a feeling that Andrea meant learning curve. Autocorrect is the devil. Honestly, every stoma is different, and so there's a lot of learning curves. Your whole body changes its cues, the way things feel, especially in regards to having to go to the bathroom or fullness after eating. Ostomates are supposed to have about 10 small meals a day. We're not really supposed to eat big sittings or big portions, and so that can take a lot of getting used to space out your meals. It's really easy to get full and uncomfortable over very little, which I still to this day struggle with. Another thing I think is just understanding what appliance works best for you. If you're a new ostomate, every single brand of colostomy supply will send you their products for free. You just have to request them. And the reason that they do that is that there's so many factors into what goes into the best fit for you. It could be the material, it could be the flange, it could be the height of the plastic, it could be the malleability of the plastic. If your stoma is an innie or an outie, how much of it is sticking out of you. Men tend to have kind of more prolapsed stomas, so that's a real pain in the ass. There's a lot. It's a big learning curve. It's a big adjustment. Your whole life changes and you have this extra sort of thing that you need to adapt to. But once you get the ball rolling, it's really easy to get into the rhythm, and then everything just works out. The next question is, if you could go back in time, would you undo getting a stoma? I mean, in my case, it was literally either get the colostomy or die. So, no. I have what's called a transverse loop colostomy. It means that they move my intestine from one side of my body to the other, and they cut open the side. There's no intestine removed in my case. It was really just to divert poop from where my tumor had blown a hole in my intestine. So that's why I had mine. A lot of people ask me whose doctors recommend them a colostomy because maybe they're at risk for cancer or they have something like colitis or Crohn's, if it's worth doing the surgery. And honestly, your quality of life is 100% worth it. The bag is not a big deal. It's really not that much extra for you to worry about. And there's so many technological advancements now that, wearing the colostomy supply is like wearing a pair of fancy pants. If you think that it's gonna save you from your intestines literally exploding from Crohn's disease, yeah, get it. I'm not a doctor, I can't tell you what to do with your life, but get it, you know? The next question is, do you ever feel embarrassed about the bag? Does anybody ever point it out to me? I could make a whole video essay about this. People have literally told me if I were in your position, I would kill myself, which is an insane thing to say. It's not that big of a
deal. At the beginning, it was hard, especially with intimacy. It was really difficult. I would have to stop a lot of the time because I felt really embarrassed. A good mental health professional obviously can help you with that. They make clothes that are designed to hide the pouch. You can buy like stoma underwear and bathing suits if you're really self-conscious. Something that's helped me a lot overcome the fear of emptying my colostomy in public or at a friend's house is to buy M9 spray, which you can buy at any colostomy supply place, and get poopery. I know it sounds silly, but it 100% works. So at least you don't have to be like, oh my god, but if I go somewhere and I have to like empty this thing. And a lot of people ask me what I do with my colostomy in regards to my clothes. I literally just tuck it in, and if I'm hot and sweaty and I don't feel like tucking it in, I just leave it out. Like, I don't care, you know? It's a learned skill to like not really give a shit. The next question is if the recovery from the surgery was tough, and honestly, no. You just kind of have sore ab muscles.
Good morning, handsome prince.
Good morning, handsome prince.
And that's all from me.
I like move this clip by the wayside. Maybe we can like, oh no, wait. Can we do this? Yeah, okay. Thank you for joining me. As always, please do check me out elsewhere. Please subscribe if you like to hear me yap. If you want a Chinese pickle update, ooh baby. Anything that is topical and relevant or whatever, I will share in the description box below. Please watch the Auri 8 video. It's coming extremely soon. I'm so excited. I had such a fun time making it. I got to read a lot of wacky ass bullshit to make that video, and I cannot wait to like share it with you. I'm starting to like Resident Evil, which feels extremely blasphemous because I have spent my entire life shitting on Resident Evil, but I think RE8 might be the like, I don't know. It's the litmus test for like, will I continue to enjoy this franchise? And that's it. If you like this video, pingle that dingle and spoingle that boingle, baby. Like, comment, and survive. And I'll see you next time. Okay, I love you. Bye.